What's up, it's Florence. I'm 22 years old. I currently live in Long Beach. I identify as gender queer and I use he, him, slash they, them pronouns. I'm making this video just to talk about my process with going through Kaiser Permanente from having insurance to not having insurance, and how Kaiser Permanente is trying to help me get my insurance back. Other options that could help you if you don't have insurance, or if you do have insurance and you don't want to go through Kaiser Permanente. I'm going to talk about my first call to Kaiser Permanente all the way to my letter of recommendation and how I got all that, and that process of going to an endocrinologist and a psych appointment and all of that stuff. I'm currently pre-T, so not T, not yet. Hopefully one day. I've been starting my medical transition. It's definitely been a process. And I think one thing that I want people to know is that it's a process and it's gonna take time. It's not just gonna happen out of the blue. Things pop up, things change all the time. So it's super important to know that you have to be patient. It's really hard for certain people to be patient, but you have to be patient. I'm going through Kaiser Permanente right now, and I started getting on my appointments and getting on my stuff done in November, and it's February now. So I started in November 27th. That was my first appointment to start transitioning and things. I'm not transitioning. I'm pre-T. The first place you want to start when you start with Kaiser Permanente is to call them. Call Kaiser Permanente, and just tell them I want to start medically transitioning. They have been training their call centers and their nurses and all of those things to be not more accepting, but to be more knowledgeable and transgender health. So that way when you get on the phone with them, you don't have to explain a whole lot. You can just say, I'm transgender and I want to start medically transitioning, and they should get it. Because Kaiser Permanente is training their staff to be more knowledgeable about our health as well, because our health is super important as well. So the first thing that I did was I called Kaiser Permanente, and it's good to if you're going to call Kaiser Permanente, it's good to get your preferred name changed. It's also good to get any address changed, or any phone numbers, emails, anything like that changed, because once you want to start medically transitioning and everything, they're going to be calling you and they're going to be contacting you, and you need to make sure that you have the proper information. That way your information isn't going somewhere else. You want to make sure that you get your information firsthand. Another thing that I think is really big to check is insurance. Make sure that your insurance is good. If your insurance isn't good, you can ask for a Kaiser Permanente social worker, and they might be able to figure something out for you, depending on what your what your situation is. It's based upon your situation. If you don't have insurance right now, I would say call Kaiser Permanente and ask them for an insurance specialist and see if you can figure out some sort of thing with Kaiser Permanente. So the first big thing is to call Kaiser Permanente, ask as many questions as you need. If you have a whole bunch of questions, ask. If you need to write down your questions first before you call them, do that. So make sure that you ask questions. Don't not ask questions. When I went in for my appointment, which was November 27th, that was my referral appointment. That's what I'm calling it or whatever. It's just a regular doctor's appointment. When I went in, I had a pap smear, and I also got STD checked and tested and all of that stuff. I got my preferred name changed to Florence, and I also got my address, email, and phone number and all of that stuff checked when I went in, just to make sure that I was getting my information and that my information wasn't going to anybody else. After the referral, because basically what the referral does is you go into your primary doctor and you say that you want to start medically transitioning, and they need to refer you to an endocrinologist. So you have to make a regular doctor's appointment and call Kaiser and stuff. You can't just like go to an endocrinologist. You have to be referred. Like you have to talk to your primary doctor first. So after that, I got referred to my endocrinologist now, and once I got my endocrinology appointment, I just went into Kaiser Permanente, and the first endocrinologist appointment is just giving you information. It's making sure that you understand all the things that testosterone are going to change in your body, making sure that this is exactly what you want, making sure that you're okay with your voice deepening, making sure that you understand the health risks of overuse of testosterone, making sure that you know that if you are a little bit overweight, like I am. I'm a little bit overweight. I'm not ashamed of it. And if you're a little bit overweight, then you need to watch your weight, and you need to, make sure that you're going to the gym and you're eating properly and things like that. I actually took my girlfriend with me to the appointment just so we can both cycle in information, just in case, like, I wasn't listening to one part, she was listening to another part. I suggest taking someone with you. That way you're not the only person cycling through the information. Another thing that they ask you about is like support. They ask you if you're fine with fertility things, because they want to make sure that if you're going to go through testosterone, there's a possibility that you can lose your fertility. And if you do want to like freeze your eggs and things like that, you can also go through Kaiser for that. It's not really covered underneath insurance, so you have to be really careful. That would be something that you would have to pay out of pocket for. So after my endocrinology appointment and I got all my information and all of that stuff, he said that he wanted to that he needed a psych evaluation done just to make sure, because I explained to him that I had another therapist and all of that. He was like, yeah, I know, but let's just go through Kaiser. So you have to go through the process of like Kaiser Permanente, of a psych appointment, or psych department, in order for you to get your letter of recommendation, in order for you to start testosterone. At the end of the appointment, he just said the one thing that I needed to do was go get my blood drawn. So after I got my blood drawn, I got a call back from another psychiatric department in Kaiser, which is my psych appointments and things. And so I had my first psych appointment at the end of December, somewhere around there. I don't remember the exact date. But it was like the last 2 weeks of December, a little bit after my birthday and all that. I thought that it was going to be a super quick process, just because the process that I had before with getting an endocrinology appointment and getting my blood drawn and like the referral process, all that stuff took 2 weeks. All that stuff is super easy. And then when you hit the psych portion of like starting T and things, it's a little bit longer. So my all my psych appointments took about a month. And I had my first psych appointment at the end of December, like the last 2 weeks of December, and then I had my second appointment. I had to move it. I had to move my second appointment because it was on the 10th and the 15th of January. But I had to move the 10th of January because I had work and I couldn't get out of it. I had to move the 10th appointment, and the next available appointment was the 31st of January. So that's waiting like 15 days apart, especially at the end of December. So after my first appointment, we immediately made my second and third appointments. I had to reschedule my second appointment and make that my third appointment. So I went to the January 15th appointment, and we just continued on with the questionnaire that they had. And my third appointment, which was on January 31st, like the last day of January. My last appointment, we finished up everything, and I got my letter of recommendation. It didn't take long, just because we were already like halfway done. The doctor that I had, she allowed for my girlfriend to like sit in the appointment with me, which was nice because it wasn't just me answering all the questions. It was also her answering some of the questions, and also just to have that support while you're going through and explaining your childhood and how you feel and stuff. I think it's good to have support, so if you need support at those appointments, I'm pretty sure you're more than welcome to ask your therapist, hey, can this person just sit in with me because it makes me more comfortable to talk about these things. And my therapist, she also took answers from my girlfriend. I say a lot. I say so much. I'm trying. And at the end of my appointment, which was December 31st or whatever, that appointment lasted like 20 minutes just because we were just finishing up the psych appointments. She said, congratulations, you're going to get your letter of recommendation. What I recommend, what I did when I went through psych things is I did my letter of recommendation for testosterone and also for top surgery at the same time, just because when you do it separate, that month that you have to wait to go get like a doctor's appointment and all of that stuff, like you have to go in and get those appointments. So a little easier way for you to like just kind of like get everything in one swoop is to just get get all your letters. I suggest get all of your letters. Get, if you need a letter for bottom surgery, top surgery, testosterone, get it all in one swoop. Sorry, I almost fell over. Get it all in one swoop. I've been hearing it's a very like hard process if you get your letter of recommendation for testosterone, and then all of a sudden you want top surgery, and then you have to go through the process of getting top surgery, which means you have to go through all those appointments, all those therapy appointments all over again with that questionnaire in order for you to get top surgery. But that's also like depending on where you are. This is for California. This is what I feel like is relevant for California. But I would suggest if you're going through Kaiser, get all your letters in one soup. Just be like, I'm here for top surgery, I'm here for bottom surgery, and I'm also here for testosterone. I want to get all of them done now. A big thing that my therapist was super worried about was financial stuff. I don't work a job that pays me a lot of money, so I definitely do not have the funds to pay for top surgery or anything like that. So she was super concerned about giving me top surgery. So when I came back from my last appointment, before my last appointment, she asked me to call my insurance company and ask them how much it would cost for me to get surgery. When you go through Kaiser, the amount that you pay for top surgery can be completely different. So you have to make sure that you call your insurance company and ask, how much will I pay for top surgery if it's underneath my insurance? And if they, however much they tell you, that's however much it is underneath your insurance. After that, February, actually no, it was the same day. So the same day, January 31st, all this time I've had insurance through my mom's job, which means that I haven't been having a problem with starting T. If you have insurance, take advantage of it while you can, kind of thing. I'm just going to say that right now. And actually an hour, so after... Let me backtrack, sorry. After my psych appointment, I got my letter of recommendation. It got put onto my medical record and my profile and things like that. And then that letter of recommendation went to my endocrinologist office, which then prompted them to call me back in order for me to start injections and things like that. Unfortunately, on January 31st, after my last psych appointment, my mom calls me and tells me that she's taking me off her insurance. And that puts a lot of things on hold for me. So right now, I don't have insurance as of today. Today is February 4th of 2019, and I don't have insurance. So right now I'm in the process of trying to get my insurance back and trying to figure out what other options are. And this is where the social worker comes in. Because what most people don't know is they're like, oh, I lost my insurance. I need to go figure out something else. I need to go to another company. I can't go through Kaiser anymore, or whatever. If you can no longer go through Kaiser and you do want to switch companies and no longer use Kaiser, what I suggest you do, if you've gotten through this whole process of getting your letters of recommendation and all of that, go get your medical record from Kaiser Permanente. Go to Kaiser Permanente and you can just give them your Kaiser card and ask them, I need a copy of my medical record, and they should give you everything that you've ever done with them. That's always super good to have just in case anyway. I would suggest doing that anyway. But go to Kaiser, get a printout of your medical record if you want to go somewhere else. If you don't want to go somewhere else and you still want to try to go through Kaiser, another option is going through Cover California. Cover California, and this is if you live in California. Cover California is for California residents. Some people may, if you don't make enough money, you could qualify for Medi-Cal. With Medi-Cal, there's no copay charges or anything like that. You just go, but you do have to go through Cover California, and the only thing is that it's gonna take some time. With Cover California, it just takes a long time, so the process is 2 months or about 2 months. So you'll still be waiting to get insurance in order for you to start everything. That's what happened to me. So I currently don't have insurance, so I'm trying to go through Cover California. Another option for people who live in California, LA County, or anything like that, you can do APLA Health. They have, I want to say, 3 offices in LA, and then they have an office in Long Beach. The first thing you need to do with APLA is call. Make sure that you call. Call, ask as many questions as you like. It's the same process as Kaiser Permanente, and that's if you don't have insurance. If you do not have insurance, go to APLA. Or to Cover California. If you go to APLA with Kaiser Permanente, they will not take you. They will not take any type of insurance from Kaiser Permanente. They do not associate themselves with Kaiser Permanente. If you don't have insurance, you can go to APLA. If you do have insurance, but it's not Kaiser Permanente, you can go to APLA and you can start medically transitioning through them. The process, from what I hear, is a little bit easier through APLA. It could take just a couple of weeks if you just call. That's my video. If you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram handle is _Florentius_. If you have any questions, comments, anything, let me know. Hit the button down below. Flow out, yo.